As a lot of you will already know, Squarespace has brought out Fluid Engine, which has changed the game to some degree when it comes to the layouts that we can have on our websites. But it can be a little bit fiddly at times, and I've been guilty of this. I know a lot of people have struggled with this. You try and line things up and they just don't quite fit where you want them to fit. There's a little bit more of a gap on one side maybe than there is on the other. And when we move blocks, basically a grid will come up. So we have to hold the block and count all of the grid numbers and on one side, and then count all the other ones on the other side, and then above and below to make sure that it's all correct whilst holding this thing down. And if you let go of the block, then the grid disappears, and it's like, oh, is it lined up correctly or what? And most of the time, like, this is fine, but sometimes it can just be really, really annoying. And I stumbled across this shortcut when I was going through the Squarespace articles the other day, like a shadow, and I just thought, let's share it. So the basic premise is that we use this shortcut on the keyboard, and then that will bring up the grid and it will keep the grid up. So you can see exactly how much space horizontally and vertically there is within that grid. And this is super useful if you need precision. And a lot of us, let's be honest, we do need precision when we're dragging and dropping our blocks, because without precision, sites can get messy. So all that waffle to say, I'm going to show you how to keep the grid up at all times on Squarespace. Right, so we're in our dashboard here. If we go into edit, and then we add in a fluid section like so, we can see there's no grid. If we were to click edit section, our grid comes up, and then we can choose how we want that grid to look. Then if we add in a block, an image, let's just put in something random. I then add a text block. I need to count while I'm holding this how many grid spaces there are between this block and the edge, this block and the center, and then the center and the next block. So when I'm trying to position this correctly, it can be quite annoying, to be honest, holding it and then I've let go and you lose the grid. So what you want to do is simply click on Mac, Command and G for grid, nice and easy. And then if you want it to go, Command and G and it goes. I don't know why mobile keeps coming up here. So do it again. On Windows, it's, I think, what is it on Windows? Control G, something like that. I don't quite know what the translation is from Mac, but on Mac it's Command G. So I'm assuming if you're on Windows, you know what the equivalent of command is. I'm pretty sure it's control, but if not, have a little play around. It's one of them ones in the bottom left. Plus G for grid, nice and easy. And then when I'm moving things, I can see exactly where it needs to be. So if I want to stretch this to 1 from the center and then 2 from the end, I can do the same with text, like so. Make it all line up, and then when I let go, it doesn't lose the grid. And what's good is you can see that center line at all times as well, which is really handy. And then it does it for every section. That's a fluid section. Obviously, it doesn't work for Classic Editor, but that is honestly such a useful tidbit that I come across, and I think that's going to help a lot of us moving forward for making very symmetrical designs, or however else you want to use it. So I do apologize in advance for Windows users. I'm very Mac orientated, so hopefully you can translate from command. Anyway, if you found this useful, please make sure to leave a like, hit subscribe, and check out all the Squarespace resources in the description below.